This is Ryan Fletcher from BVM Radio, and we're going to have some storytellers telling their stories this morning, and it's an immigrant storytelling project. And we've had some wonderful stories in past weeks, so I'm looking forward to having some more. And our first story is going to come from Karl Day, who's from Beijing. So welcome, Karl.
Thank you. Yeah.
So let us have your story.
Yeah. So my name is Karl Day. I came from Beijing back to 10 years ago. So my today's story is healthy snacks. Bing, 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 bing. Bing, 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 bing. My phone kept ringing all the time. I look at my phone. Oh, it's 8:20 in the morning. I was in a rush. Okay, I need to drop off my son to the school, and I need to go to work at 9 o'clock. Oh, what a rush morning. And my son, wake up at the same time, ask me, okay, Daddy, what snack for me today? I say, oh yeah, why don't you take some candy bars? Candy bars is good, sweet. Yeah, okay, that's good. Okay, and then I just squeeze the candy bar into my son's snack box. We're ready to go. Okay, a few days later, the instructor of my son at the Maywood School called me. Are you Karl? Are you Roger's daddy? Yes, I am. We noticed that your son is losing concentration at school right now, so we need to talk to you. And we also noticed that your son has, bring the candy stock for the snack almost every day. A few days later, I met with the instructor and the principal of the Maywood School, Mrs. Cornell. And then we had a conversation. Okay, so many school students at my school have brought in the candy bar, chocolate bar for the snack, and then we don't recommend that. And to solve this question, to solve this issue, we are ready to launch a new program for next year. We call it Healthy Snacks. The school will provide very nutritious fresh fruit instead of candy to provide the children who are not able to bring the healthy snacks with them. But currently, the school is short of fund, so we need to raise some fund to make this program keep going. I think it's a good idea, and then, yeah, I think I should try. Yeah, it's a good program. It's good for the next generation. Yeah, the junk food is not good to children, right? And then with the proposal from Mrs. Cornell, the principal of the school, I approached to one of the credit union for the funding. When the management of the credit union saw the proposal, they see, oh, that's a good idea, because junk food is a really big concern at Burnaby School right now. At Burnaby, I mean, primary school, elementary school, and we should support that. And the management really happy to get a chance to support this program. And just before the Christmas Day, 2012, the credit union granted some money to support the program. So in the coming year, in the coming year 2013, so the school can launch the healthy snack program. And the principal was very happy and was very thankful to the credit union, including my effort as well. Yeah. So the next year, one day after school, I picked up my son. My son was very excited. Told me, "Okay, Daddy, do you know our school is offering us the healthy snacks every day?" I said, "Oh, of course I know that. Do you like it?" "Oh, of course I like it." "Oh, why not?" It's celery, very fresh, tomato, very sweet, and even the carrot, very crunchy. I love that. And the teacher told us, okay, it's very healthy for us to have the fresh vegetable as a snack instead of candy. That's pretty good. And I think, oh, that's good. Yeah, I'm happy. If you are happy, I'm happy. Okay, And then a few months later, we moved to the new location. and my son transferred to the new school. One day, when he came back home, he talked to me again. Okay, Daddy, this school doesn't offer healthy snack. Can you prepare some for me so I can bring to school? Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's good. Oh, that's awesome. So from this story, I got education as well. So I used to eat a lot of candy bar. So right now I just occasionally eat, and I eat more fresh vegetable as a snack instead of candy, sugar, those kind of stuff. And one more thing is that when I have the conversation with Mrs. Cornell, the principal of the Maywood School, and because she believes in the healthy snack, including the very fresh vegetable as a snack, really enhanced the students' concentration at school and keep them away from actual sugar, actual chemical. So that's pretty good. And it's a good way for them to learn in a healthy way and to grow in a healthy way. And one more thing I learned from this story is that I live in the Burnaby before. I have been living in Burnaby for almost 10 years. So I see this place is really friendly, very diversified city. And from this story, from this experience, I feel the same way. So there are people, around you who see you, who hear you, who care about you. And me, as a part of the community, as an immigrant, I can try my best, play my part to better community, to make the Burnaby a better place to live in. Yeah. Thank you.
It's a very nice story by Karl Day.
Thank you.
It's about community and health. And is this would this be something that you see in where you come from as well, or is this something that was a unique experience to you, the healthy food program?
Pardon me, can you say it again?
Is this something you would see in Beijing, a healthy food program, or is this something was unusual?
In Beijing, back to Beijing, some schools do offer the healthy snack, but the student need to pay. Yeah, they still need to pay at certain expensive. Right? But here, because it's sponsored by the government, by the credit union, by the social organizations, it's different. Yeah, that's the different part. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's pretty unique here.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this kind of community involvement, is that something that you had experienced in Beijing, or is Beijing more of an isolated kind of community?
Every community share the same activity, but just deal it in a different way.
Yeah.
Yeah. In Beijing, if some school, mostly if some school want to launch a new program, the cost mostly will be forward to the parents. But here, Burnaby is a really nice place, as I mentioned. So people and organizations around the school and in this community, they really support something they think it's right, and they think it's good for the next generation.
Right.
They think it's good for the community. That's something really made me happy, made me excited,
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, yeah.
So that is our first story of the day, and this is August 31st, 1925. This is Ryan Fletcher with BVM Radio, and we're having some stories this morning from the Burnaby Storytelling Project. And our next story is going to come from Marcella Escalona. Hello, Marcella.
Hi, Ryan. How are you doing?
Very good. I'm excited to hear your story.
Okay, thank you. So, my name is Marcela, and I moved here from Mexico 6 years ago. And I'm sure that all of you guys have different stories. So today it is just one of my stories. Excuse me, that's the first time when I realized that I need to do a road test, that was my first question. Why do I need to do a road test when I have been driving in my country for more than 15 years? So why? But they don't care, so I have to do that. So then I just booked my appointment for my road test, and they came the day. I was there on time, ready for my test. And there was the ICBC instructor with me, and he told me, okay, don't worry, everything is going to be fine. So you have to drive the way that you used to drive. So I'm just going to take some notes and just follow my directions. That's it. So, okay, that's it. So we start the road test, and he told me, okay, turn to the right, and I just turn to the right, turn to the left, up the hill, down the hill, take the roundabout, and I was taking everything. I was feeling so good, everything was fine, so, okay, I can do that, that's fine. Suddenly, just 25 minutes after my test started, the man told me, okay, that's enough, we have to go back to the office. So I thought, oh my gosh, I was so good. I don't need more time, so I'm perfect, so I'm good. So we just go back. And we just get back, he just started with my feedback, and he told me, okay, first, you have to maintain for more time your speed. You don't have to slow down each corner. That's dangerous, don't do that. Okay. So the second thing is, you have to do your shoulder check very strong. I thought that I was doing my shoulder check good, but that was not good enough. So I was to do the shoulder check strong, okay? And the third thing, and the very important thing is stop. Stop means stop. If you so stop, so stop. Why don't stop? So, oh my gosh, I think I just feel so bad because there are the very basic things. Yeah, I saw many stop signs, but I just slowed down. I didn't stop at all. Because the place that I come from, that is Mexico City, we used to drive like this, right? We just slow down, nobody's coming, okay, I can go. And that's the thing that we all have been driving for all my life, for more than 15 years, right? So here I have to realize about the different ways. I know that ICBC knows that I have to drive, but I have to let them know that I have to drive the way that I have to drive, because the rules are the same. But in Mexico, it's crazy. Have you ever tried to drive in Mexico at 7, 8 a.m. on weekdays in the morning and trying to go to the office? It's very complicated. It's like a wild zone, right? Everything, the people is just throw the car, and you just have to be aware and don't use the lights, because if somebody knows that you want to use your own line, the line, nobody is going to let you in, right? So you have to drive like this. It's crazy, but we used to live like this, right? So, okay, of course, the instructor told me, you are failed. You are not going to get your driver's license today. You have to practice, and good luck. Okay, so I just feel so bad and so sad for 3 more weeks. But then I said, okay, I have to do it. I don't have to give up, and I have to just get my driver's license. So I just restart practicing. The second time, I live in Burnaby, so I choose another location, because the first time I choose the UBC neighborhood, very completely unfamiliar for me. I don't know why, but yeah, I have never been there. So first, the second time I chose another neighborhood. I practiced, and I think I felt more prepared to my test. And of course, I got my driver's license the second time. Everything was perfect, and now I realize that is something that you have to do. I don't know if I just continue driving like this here. No, it is really dangerous, right? Because I have been driving in different way for a long time, right? So my advice is just don't give up. You can do it. If you have been driving, you can drive here too, no problem. So just be prepared. The traffic signs are the same, so it is just obey the law, right? That's the thing. So thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you for your story, Marcella.
You're
So,
welcome.
how long have you been in Burnaby now?
I have been living in Burnaby for 4 years.
4 years.
Yeah.
Okay. And have you been having any problems driving since then? Or has it been...
No.
Yeah.
I got my driver's, and now I understand the way that I have to do that. So
Yeah.
everything is fine.
And do you have any problems with other drivers and the way they drive?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bad drivers are everywhere. So yeah.
Yeah. And so my understanding from the story is that in Mexico, it's everybody for themselves pretty much. Is that sort of the right impression, or is it?
Well, yeah, but Mexico City.
Yeah, Mexico City, right?
Yeah, because
Oh,
in
okay.
other parts of Mexico, they used to drive okay. Yeah, but it's just Mexico City. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you very much for your story.
No problem. Thank you. Thanks for
Right.
listening.
So that's our second story today on the Burnaby Storytelling Project here on August 31st, 1925. You're listening to Radio BVM. This is Ryan Fletcher, and we're having some stories this morning from the Burnaby Storytelling Project. And we have Rebekah Mahaffey here. And we're going to have a story. Welcome.
Thank you.
I look forward to your story.
So as Ryan mentioned, my name is Rebekah, and I was born in Canada, in Calgary, in a little white house in the north of the city, just as the leaves were starting to fall. But when I was 3 months old, my family moved to Indonesia, where we lived until I was 12. And then we moved to Libya, where we lived for several more years. And when we lived in Libya, the first Gulf War happened. And that was a time when countries like Libya and Iraq were fighting against the countries of North America and Europe and some other countries. And because of that, conflict, we had bombing raids at night. And so my mother would cover the windows in paper, and we would sit in a room in the center of the house, away from the walls and away from the windows, and we would wait night after night. But after some time of this, my parents decided it was time to leave. We had waited too long. We needed to get out. And so we waited for a quiet night, and with the help of some friends, we were able to get across the border to Tunisia, the neighboring country to the to the west. There was no air travel allowed out of Libya at that time, and so that's why we drove. Then we got on a boat to Malta, and finally from Malta on a plane back to Canada. We arrived at night in January in Calgary, and it was very cold. I had never been to Canada except for short visits in the summertime, and I had never experienced winter before. And I remember walking out of the airport and feeling my first blast of icy cold winter air. My grandparents were there to meet us, and because they were kind, they had brought me a snowsuit, a purple snowsuit, full body with arms and legs that swished when I walked. And I was so cold that I wore it all the time in those first months, even to bed, even to sleep. And I also wore it on my first days at high school in Canada. And as you might be able to imagine, because I wore a full-body purple snowsuit, it meant that I got teased. And because I was teased, I felt lonely. And I also felt lonely because I couldn't figure out where the life was in Canada. I had lived in warm countries where people ate in restaurants with cafes on the street. You could walk at night. People lived outside. And in a very cold winter, you can't do that. And so I couldn't figure out where all the people were, where all the life was. And because of those two things, I felt lonely and cold, both inside and out. But this changed for me when I made a friend. I made a friend through a school project, and she invited me over to her house for dinner. And I was so excited, I ran home. With the help of my mother, I made a dish to take, and I walked the several blocks over to my friend's house on the night of the dinner party. My friend heard my knocking and opened the door to welcome me in, and I felt the blast of warm air, heard noises, and smelt the yummy food smells from the kitchen. And it struck me that in Canada, sometimes you have to look for the life and the warmth. Sometimes it's inside. It's not visible right away. But if you keep looking for it, it's there and it's very welcoming. And as she took my hand to welcome me into her house, I knew finally that I had come home.
Nice. Wow. So you must have had a lot of contrasting experiences from these different countries, Indonesia to Libya to Canada.
It was a very interesting childhood. I think for me, very good, because I got exposed to many different types of ways of life and met lots of wonderful people all over the world. Mm-hmm. But the adjustment moving back to Canada was definitely difficult, I think in part because it was so abrupt. It hadn't been really planned for.
Right. That's an interesting idea I hadn't thought of before, is that looking for the life. I've been to warmer countries where it's all outside, and yeah, that's interesting. Do you find it's similar in Vancouver or in the winter, or is it different?
I think that's one of the reasons why I moved out from Calgary, from Alberta, to Vancouver to go to university. And I think that's why I felt almost immediately quite at home in this region, in Burnaby and in Vancouver, is because the climate's a little bit more temperate, and so you can be outside more often, even if it's raining. Calgary's a great city, but because of the very extreme temperatures, it's not comfortable to be outside in minus 30, but here, even if it's raining, you can be outside, and I do find that I feel more comfortable in that environment.
Do you still have the snowsuit?
That's a good question. No. I got rid of that thing almost after the first couple of months, almost immediately.
And just one other question that I was thinking of. When you were living in other countries growing up, being from Canada, did you have any memories of Canada? Because at 3, you may not?
Almost none.
Yeah.
I remember, little snippets of coming back to see my grandparents in the summertime, but most often they would come to wherever we were. I think it was just a little bit hard for my parents to traipse children around the world, and so it was easier for my grandparents to come to us. And so I have, although I'm Canadian by birth and by nationality, until my teens, I had almost no experience of the country.
Yeah. Okay, well, thank you very much. That's Rebekah Mahaffey, and it's a story from the Burnaby Storytelling Project here on Radio BVM, August 31st, 1925.